Hello, my name is Michael McGrath. I live in Hertfordshire. I'm married with one daughter. My wife is first and foremost my wife, and she's also my carer and my business partner. I'm also the co-founder and CEO of a national family charity. We travel quite a lot, so between us, we keep pretty busy. Some 30 years ago, I was diagnosed with a muscle wasting disease, muscular dystrophy, or MD. It's a disease that robs sufferers of their mobility, their independence, and finally, for those with the most severe form, their lives. Today, I sit before you in what I affectionately call my chariot. You see, I'm a permanent power chair user. I've lost some 65% of my muscle bulk, and as a result, I'm mobility impaired. But thankfully, my disability has never stopped me from living a full life. In fact, in some ways, it's become a passport, if you like, in enabling me to help others on their journey, or working with different organizations in, for example, driving change, or helping with leadership development programs, or looking at people's behaviors, or helping raise awareness around really important issues that affect us all. And it was about 6 months ago that my wife and I were at an event where one of the speakers spoke about something called pressure ulcers, sometimes known as bed sores or pressure sores. Now, neither my wife nor I had ever heard of these terms, let alone what happens if you're unfortunate enough to get one. Both of us were surprised, to say the least, that we'd never been made aware of pressure ulcers. Our GP had never mentioned anything to us. And my own consultant, whom I visit once a year for my annual MOT, my checkup, has never raised the subject. And some of you will be watching this and you may also never have heard of the term pressure ulcer. But then again, maybe you have heard about it. Maybe you've thought, it will never happen to me. Anyway, it was then that my wife and I decided to get involved. We wanted to see how we could help make a difference with a really important issue that could affect you, that could affect your loved ones. You see, pressure ulcers are a type of injury that affects areas of the skin and underlying tissue. They're caused when the affected area of skin is placed under too much pressure. They can range in severity from patches of discolored skin to horrible, smelly, open wounds that expose the underlying bone or muscle. For some, pressure ulcers are an inconvenience. They may require some nursing care. For others, they can be extremely serious, leading in some cases to life-threatening complications such as blood poisoning or even gangrene when the body's tissue begins to decay and die. For the most serious cases, surgery is sometimes recommended, and yet thousands and thousands of ordinary people get them. They can impact anyone from young babies, children and adults through to the elderly and those with underlying health conditions such as diabetes. I've since learned that as someone that's mobility impaired, someone with an underlying health condition, in my case being muscular dystrophy, someone that spends roughly about 70% of their time seating, in the seated position, and 30% of my time in the supine position, in other words, lying down, sleeping. I'm in that high-risk group of people that are more likely than any other group to develop a pressure ulcer. Remember that at some point in our lives, we may all be at risk, and that's a fact. So, as a result of the work that my wife and I are now doing with the NHS Midlands and East region on a campaign called Stop the Pressure, we now both are acutely aware of the risks associated with pressure ulcers, and as a result, we now are both taking action. We're informing ourselves. I'm regularly checking my skin for any discoloration. I'm moving my position as often as I'm able to. I'm making sure that I'm well hydrated, that I drink a lot. And as a campaign, Stop the Pressure resonated big time with both my wife and I. That's why we decided to play our part in helping, because you see, 95% of pressure ulcers are in fact avoidable. They can be prevented. How, you may ask? Well, put simply, it's about people knowing what to look out for on their skin and fundamentally how to reduce the risks. The Stop the Pressure campaign supports one of the NHS Midlands and East region's key ambitions. It's an ambition that's around eliminating avoidable grade 2, 3 and 4 pressure ulcers. That's why my wife and I decided to get involved, because it's a really, really important issue. It's an issue that affects all of us. It affects everyone. There's a website that I'd encourage you to go to and visit. It's full of useful information that will help anyone learn more. The website is www.stopthepressure.com, or follow #StopThePressure on Twitter. You can play your part in helping this ambition become a reality, in helping me raise more awareness across the country, in making sure that as many people as possible know what to look out for, because together we can stop the pressure.